Hello there, I'm Siskel.
And I'm Ebert. Oh wait, this isn't the 80s.
Oh well.
I'm Sailor.
And I'm Sawyer.
And welcome to Sawyer Reviews Stranger Things.
Well, it's Sailor as well. So Sawyer and Sailor, disregard that. That's been up there since I got this board over a year ago. So, we're going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 2, but before we get into that, a while ago I did Season 1 a review, but we didn't really hear Sailor's thoughts on the first season. So what were your thoughts on Season 1 real quick?
It's lit. It was really good, actually. Sawyer watched the whole thing, and I was like, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get involved. But then he started watching with Dad, and I came in after the first episode, and I saw the ending. I was like, wait a minute. I've got to see what happens. Here I am. I thought it was really good.
Then recently, like when the hurricane came in September, that Hurricane Irma, once we got power back, me and her rewatched it to get caught up for Season 2. So she did see that first episode there.
Mm-hmm. And it was good.
It was good. And now here we are with Season 2, which takes place a year after Season 1, so 1984. And it's right around Halloween time with the theme, and that's pretty dope. Anyways, so story-wise, it's basically a year later, and something's like not right with... Oh, whoa, where did all these come from? Oh, that's right.
My superpowers.
Sailors are 11 on this channel. Anyways, so as I was saying, it picks up a year after Season 1, and there's something not right with Will, after you've seen at the end of Season 1, when I don't want to say spoilers, but why would you watch a Season 2 review?
Yeah,
Season
1 spoilers, you guys. We're not spoiling Season 2, but Season 1 spoilers all over the place. Because you have to see Season 1 to understand Season 2.
Yep. So he burped out this little slug thing. And since then, like, he has what they call episodes throughout, like, the year leading up to when Season 2 begins, where he's doing stuff normal, like, for example, like you see in the trailer, he's at the arcade, he's having fun.
And then all of a sudden, bam, he's in the Upside Down.
Everyone's gone, and he's just in the Upside Down.
By himself.
And so, you see him trying to figure out, like, him and everyone around trying to figure out why this is, and also the events of what happened in Season 1 with the lab, trying to keep everything under wraps, like, no one really knows what happened, and everyone that does know, like the chief and all, are kept secret, and then a lot of people are begin to ask more questions, and it's all building up, and
Will it be revealed? Will it not? Gotta find out.
So let's talk about some stuff we liked about it. What was some stuff you liked about Season 2 overall?
What I really like about Season 2 is that, well, a lot of properties, especially in movies, they'll make a successful first movie and then they'll tack on a sequel even though the story was complete. Stranger Things isn't like that. Season 1, while it is a complete entity to itself, leaves it open for more possible story arcs. And Season 2, instead of just, banking off the success of Season 1 and just, repasting and recopying everything that happened in Season 1, builds upon the characters and events that were established in Season 1 and takes it further and makes it better.
And what's great is how this show actually plays like a movie, like with all the marketing, the posters, and this show, especially this season, it plays like an actual movie.
But longer.
Yeah, it's like a 9-hour movie, and none of it ever feels like it shouldn't be there, except one that I'll get to later. And like it was really perfect. Like everything, it's like one of those rare sequels where it continues to build upon what made Season 1 so great, and it was truly amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot scarier than the last one. There's a lot of scenes where I was just there like, what's going on? You know?
There were lots of parts where I was just staring at my screen. I'm like, oh my god, like it was really creepy.
Yeah.
And a lot of it had to do with like the actor Noah Schnapp.
He was so good.
He didn't do anything in Season 1 really, but he makes up for it here. He is by far the MVP for Season 2. He steals every scene he's in.
I mean, a lot of the characters are really good at emotional reactions and acting, but Will just, time after time, he is crying, he's emotional, he is scared, he's vulnerable.
Seizures.
Yeah, every feeling that actor portrays, you feel.
It's top notch.
It's like when you're acting, there's this thing where it's like you're not supposed to pretend, you are supposed to be. And the actors in Stranger Things are great like that. You don't see the actor, you see them. You see Eleven, you see Will, you see Mike. It's very organic and it feels very natural.
And you can tell that everyone in here is loving what they're doing. That's how you can see how their performances are really great. Like, everyone, I think, did great performances. Even my little flaw with one of the characters, his performance was still good.
Yes.
And,
Even he cries. There's a lot of crying.
Yeah, they said that season 2 is going to be darker, and I didn't think how they could remake it really darker, because, I mean, there's, like, I was thinking the same for It. I didn't expect them to go really dark, because it was kids-related. Kids Uncle Dolph.
Anyways, so, the thing I like about Stranger Things is a lot of things that want to be dark. They're like, oh, I've got to be dark and edgy this whole time. I can't be lighthearted at all. But Stranger Things, it's not just dreary.
Yeah.
There are a lot of heavy moments like that. But, I mean,
It balances out.
Yeah, it's still about kids. And kids aren't, always depressed all this time. Like, that's not how middle school kids are. They're still having fun. They're still doing what kids do. They're still trick-or-treating. They're still, being themselves.
Yeah.
It's not just all dark and dreary because, life's not all dark and dreary. Even when you've got these, like, incredibly heavy things going on, they're still friends, and you still feel that friendship and that connection. Even when there's tussles, you still, you have this, like, positive vibe about it, even in the darker moments where you just feel like they can do it.
Yeah, like how a lot of people complain about first season, how it was balancing like too much on 80s stuff and how it took them out or whatever. I don't see that at all.
No.
And it does it really well here. Like, every episode they have like an 80s song that would play, especially in the earlier ones, and
should
it was
I stay or should I go now?
You had this one repeater, which is Will's song basically.
Yeah.
You had like the theme, how they dress up for Halloween. Let's not get copyright, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there's something Stranger Things.
I love YouTube. I'm joking. Anyways.
Okay. Anyways, but honestly, it makes sense for pop culture references from the 80s to. Anyways, but it makes sense for 80s pop culture references to be immersed within the series because, it takes place in the 80s, okay? Everything today, all, like, the people at high school, something happens, everybody's talking about it, everybody's referencing it, especially with, like, newer things like memes, but even, like, more traditional pop culture things, like movies, singers, famous people in general. Like, if it happens in pop culture, everybody knows about it, everybody talks about it, and it's not just look, referencing a thing, it's like they use it and they build upon it. Like, with D&D, it's not just, hey, this is a thing we know. It's, they use it as a metaphor for describing things that occur within the game.
And how it...
not the game, but the
how
series.
it's a cliffhanger after season 1. That one tentacle creature, that's the main creature in season 2. So they had a little hint towards that. And also, people, how I see they complain about that kind of stuff and specific shows, if they already have a problem with it, they'll just make up a problem just to complain about something. That's what people will do all the time. If it's getting in the way of your story and all, and it's supposed to be like a product placement, I would understand. But these aren't just product placements. They will all tie in some way. Like, for example, them at the arcade, you can say that's product placement or nostalgia to arcades. One of the main events for Will's episodes happens at the arcade, so it's justified to have that in there. It isn't just out of nowhere.
Even if you can't relate to the different pop culture references that they're referencing, you can even relate to some of the characters because, like, the kids know what's going on, they get all the references, they're the ones jabbing them out, but the adults don't. So if you're on either side, you understand either set of those characters because the adults have explained to, and you're also learning about it, and then the kids are the ones referencing it, and you're like, I get that, So it works either way. You don't have to know it to get.
And usually, like, when something comes out of nowhere and is really successful, like, for example, when Star Wars first came out, they obviously gave it a bigger budget, they add new worlds, new characters, and they do
the effects are so much better now.
Way better. Instead of it being... Now, I was fanboying out when this first season came out, but when we're watching it, those scenes whenever the Demogorgon comes on, it hurts my eyes because they always had to make the lights
flashing, so you couldn't realize just how bad it is.
How bad the CG was. Here, it's like they were talking about how they had this other show, Beyond Stranger Things or whatever. They were talking about how in season 1 they had no special effects guy or anything. It was just a guy in a practical suit the entire time with tiny special effects. And this time they said they got like bunch of visual effects people to come in.
And it shows.
It's a gorgeous, like, it.
I know.
It shows like an actual...
the gate much better looking. The freaking
The creature,
Demodogs.
the tentacle creature as well. It all shows like an actual movie. Like it's filmed beautifully. The cinematography is gorgeous. I love how it had some nods to 80s stuff. Like, for example, in The Shining, how they're driving to the hotel and all those big angles zooming down on the car and all. Like when Will and his mom were going to. This isn't really a spoiler show in the trailer. They show a lot in the trailer, so I can have free will. They showed them driving somewhere. You could see it zooming down on the truck in the woods. It looked gorgeous.
Cinematography is really good. The cinematography was also good in the last one, but it's good in
they improved it.
A more stylistic type of way.
And I love how whenever they're doing like a montage of setting up for something, it'll play some kind of 80s music, and it'll just do a bunch of cut shots of them doing something.
Yeah.
Like when it's just perfect how they do that. Like they have their own unique style, and I was hearing how the Duffer Brothers, they took their time. Like they wanted like each episode, every single part in the episode, they took hours and hours just to make sure they have it right. They didn't just rush through it.
And you could tell that there's a lot of
love
attention and love and passion put into this project.
They really were into this. And what's funny is I heard that they were originally supposed to direct the It movie, but then they were let go of that. Then Stranger Things was their next option. And I'm glad that how that paid off, because it was also really good. So we got a double win.
Yeah, but I didn't see it because I'm a scaredy cat.
I am too, but I'm manned up because I got my man beard here.
Anyways. But there were also new characters introduced
new ones,
this time. And
Why don't we talk about your favorite, my favorite, we'll talk about another one. Because they had a couple.
Okay, my favorite new character, 100% Bob. Thought he was kind of unnecessary in the beginning, but the more it showed him, the more I got to know him, the more I was like, yeah, okay, I like this guy. Yeah,
I gotta say, it's either Bob or Max is my favorite, because they both actually played into the story. At first, they didn't really do anything, but they were they got roped into it, which is what I was expecting them to get into, and I really liked it, and they both played pivotal parts at least one point. Unlike the third character, which I didn't really like. I mean, I was watching.
But I think he was important.
Who, Billy?
Billy.
Let's talk about the other one, Billy, who's the Red Power Ranger from the Power Rangers movie. Now, his performance was not bad or anything. It was good. It's just when watching, I mean, maybe Sailor can persuade me or something, but whenever he was on screen, it just didn't really feel like it connected in. Like, he didn't really play a part at all. And they were like this new character. Like, if you're gonna introduce someone major and all and have them in a lot, like on the poster, he's on there for some reason. He's in some of the trailers. They have him on exclusive interviews and all, doing stuff, and he doesn't really play a big part in it. He's kind of like a D-bag,
But to me, that is an important part because I don't want to spoil anything about it. But this guy Billy is the brother of Max, and through their interactions. But through their interactions and the way he treats her and the kind of attitude he gives off, it helps you better understand Max as a character who is a main character this season.
Yeah, she's
and it helps you empathize with her. It helps you relate to her and understand her. And I feel like the feeling does change every time that Billy comes on. But it's not exactly a bad thing. It's a tone shift, and it's to juxtapose with the rest of the scenes that she and the other characters are in, because you get this immediate sense of, oh my gosh, whenever he's on there. And it kind of jars you, but it kind of also makes you pay attention.
Yeah.
And I think it adds a lot.
And also, I mean, near the end, they did do something with him to make us understand why he acts like that. So, I mean, that did help a little bit. But, I mean, I guess it was okay, but they could have done something more. Yeah. I'm thinking. But, I mean, it wasn't like a negative at all. I'm just saying it was a little minor.
Oh, I also like how the characters have grown.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they'll have a first season, a first movie of something, and these characters will go through this big arc, they'll learn something, and then just for the sake of drama or plot, by the next movie they've completely forgotten everything they've learned and they go back to their original worst self.
Mm-hmm.
But in this movie,
show. See, it's
in like this show, things have consequences. People learn. People grow. Like the relationship between Nancy and frickin'
Steve.
Mike
Oh, I thought you were.
changes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the first season, before all this stuff happens, she doesn't really care. She's not really into it. Oh my gosh, he's just like my lamer younger brother, like I don't care. But now, because of everything that's happened and all the stuff they went through together, they have a more, oh, I'm your big sister. I'm going to look after you. I'm going to watch after you vibe to them. And it's, I appreciate that because they've grown and they've changed as the story grows and changes.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, with most sequels, everyone goes, like, I mean, a lot of people were off in their own ways in season 1, but it was, like, the grown-ups were together, the teens were together, and the kids were together. Now you have them all intermixing. Like, you had some grown-ups and some kids together at one section. You had some teens and some kids together.
Yeah.
You had 2 of them just leave. You have another kid on their own storyline, which, I mean, we don't want to spoil.
But, like, for all of season 1, it felt like it was just these two, Nancy and Jonathan, they were doing their thing. And then there was the kids, and they were doing their thing. And then there was Joyce and Hopper, and they were doing their thing. They were mostly separate. And then as the story built, and as it came towards the conclusion, that's when they all got, intertwined. But in this, there's a bit more mixing throughout. But that doesn't mean they don't take time to establish things that need to be established on their own. Like, there's a full episode that focuses on one character going off and doing this one thing. I'm not going to say any details about it, but it feels well earned. It feels like that needed to be that way because it's thorough and it goes through and it takes care of what needs to be taken care of. And, it's good that this is not a movie. It is good that this is a TV show.
Yeah.
This needs to be a TV show. And it's long. It's 9 hours. You might think that's long. But they take what...
A lot of people can't get enough. I was glad they added another episode. And it's actually over an hour long, this final episode.
All that time they used, well used, well needed.
Nothing felt like filler.
There's not a dull moment.
There are lots of complaints that I've seen from people, surprisingly, that they said episode 7 is just a setup for season 3, potentially. To those people, I say that's pretty pessimistic of you, and that's funny coming from me. Because
I love episode 7.
Yeah, because it gives more origins and more detail into this one character.
And,
this character was a standout for last season, so I don't know why people are complaining.
Set up for the next season, it still was
Ties
important and vital for that one character who was centered around that episode. And I mean, what's wrong with setting up for the next season? There's going to be another season. Do you just want it to start without any context? No, you need a little
and then that character grew, which would help the character do something in the final episode.
Yes.
So it wasn't like just filler. 'Cause trust me, I would be right with you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, overall the entire season was great. A little nitpick with the Billy character, but that was fine. But before we forget, also the Dr. Owens character, that one guy.
Very good.
He was pretty good. Like, we didn't know how it was going to be at first, but he turned out to be...
I was afraid he was just going to be a ripoff of Breyer, and they were like... Brenner, whatever. And they were just going to, shove him on, and they're like, ooh, we killed off Brenner, let's make another villain. But no.
Yeah, he wasn't really a villain.
He's not. He's different. He's better, and he's his own character in his own right.
Yeah, he's a man that's just put into this situation. He's trying to clean things up. He wasn't really bad. He still had to do his job, but you could... he wasn't really an antagonist.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good, I'm really interested to see how all this will do in the season 3, because I'm pretty sure they're going to do it a year later again, how it ends off. And also, there was, a mini cliffhanger at the end, and that kind of annoyed me, but it's okay.
But,
Mm-hmm.
It's as soon as I finished, I was like, okay, when's season 3? Stop playing me. Where is it?
Mm-hmm. And... I really like the team-ups unsurprising team-ups that they had throughout, with different characters you didn't expect to be together. And yeah, so those are basically all the thoughts I can think of for Stranger Things Season 2. Do you have any more that you want to add?
I think it was really good. I give it a 10 out of 10.
I've been moving back and forth about what I think it should be, and with what I've been thinking, how I feel about it at the moment, I will give it a 10 out of 10 as well.
Yeah. Oh, another thing. A lot of people don't like when shows like this have, relationship or liking people backdrop.
Love triangles.
Love triangle. I think it works because it's real life. It's these kids in school, in high school, and middle school, and that actually happens.
Yeah.
So, it feels kind of like, that's how things are, It feels natural to me. I just wanted to say that. Okay.
And I gotta say, it's really impressive how this show, I was really psyched. Like, ever since the trailer from Comic-Con came out, I've been watching it over and over. Like, every day I would watch it. And then the new one.
Every day he keeps on playing it.
Yeah, and to see it actually pay off and the show continues to be great and it wasn't just a one-off, that was a surprise hit. It's truly satisfying to see the show continue to grow, and I'm so stoked for Season 3. What did you guys think of Stranger Things Season 2? Please
leave it in the comments below.
And have a great one, and
Thumbs
we'll see
up.
you later.
Subscribe.
Yeah, do all that groovy stuff. And bye.